So here's a little bit of a fact. LinkedIn research actually shows that only 2% of your attendees will actually take immediate action without guided follow-up. 2%. What's happening to the 98%? So this video, like I mentioned, is that follow-on. And it's so important because when you have post-event systems in place, conversion rates can really increase by up to like 5 times. So let's dive in. So over this series of how to present, be a speaker, and just run talks or events, we went through 4 stages and we're doing the 5th one today. And they've been planning for success, creating content that holds attention and delivering with confidence and connecting after the event. And in this video today, it's all about stage 5. It's all about the ongoing opportunities. This is where you turn that one event into many. It's just really building that momentum over time. Now, this is similar to the last video, but it has a bit more in depth when it comes to the actual ongoing opportunities. And the 4 steps, they're just 4 simple steps, right? And the first one is repurposing that content. I mentioned that a little bit earlier in our last video. And one of the big things is when you do go to an event, make sure you have someone there with you who could take photos or video you, or if you need to, put your video, your mobile on a stand or something like that to the side of the stage just to capture some portion of you in movement and in static mode. So you've got something else to share out there. But don't let your talk gather dust, right? Turn it into short clips. It could be blog posts or even just micro lessons inside your community. But a 30-minute session should just fuel your content for at least weeks. So the second part is building that nurture path. Now, in a previous video, we did talk about structuring and making sure you thought about what was going to happen post-event. And this is all about creating that intentional flow, right? Invite attendees into your free hub, your membership or your program. What is the intention? We've talked about what action should they take. Don't assume they're going to find their way to it. You need to guide them. So there might be some steps that you've got to nurture them through to get them to that end point. Plan that out. Now, in our last video, I talked about feedback, keeping the conversation going. Well, this part is turning attendees into advocates. So highlighting their feedback, share their success stories, tag them on socials. When people feel like they're seen, when you were the person up on the stage, they just feel more likely to spread the word about you because they're like, wow, they weren't there just for them. They were actually there for us. And the final thing is make sure you're available for people. And what I mean by that is keeping the door open, right? Have a clear way for people to connect with you at any time. And this is why having a tool like SpeakerLinq does actually matter. The reason is because instead of links scattered all over the place, you go to a talk, you're presenting at a talk, let's say, and you're saying, here's my LinkedIn or whatever, or they hear your name and they go to LinkedIn. The next day they're looking at it and they're like, why was I looking at that person again? Or what were they talking about? Well, SpeakerLinq, if you give them your link, they go to your talk. They are remembering who you are as well as what you talked about, as well as accessing whatever resources or next step phases that you're giving them all on the one page. So just make sure that because instead of having links scattered everywhere and emails going out and so forth, yes, you still have to send those emails, but at least you've got that one location. People don't want to have to try and find you all over the place or whatever you've promised all over the place. If you've got it in one single location for them and it reminds them specifically of that talk, they're always going to find you. So the one big takeaway out of this very short video, but essential, is a speaking event isn't the end, right? It is actually the beginning of all the new opportunities that you can make for yourselves. If you have a system to capture and continue the momentum, it's not going to be the end. It's going to be the beginning of new opportunities. So a recap on how you create those ongoing opportunities: repurpose your content, build a nurture path, and turn attendees into advocates. That's a really big one there. And keep the door open with tools like SpeakerLinq. Let people find you. And remember, if you don't extend that life of your event, you potentially could lose 80% of the value, everything that you've put into this event within just a week. So this wraps up our series on presenting, running talks and so forth, from idea to impact. And now that you've got the full roadmap from planning to content, to delivery, to follow up, and the final ongoing opportunities, I'd love for you to have a think about what you will do at your next talk. But here's the truth. Most people never action this because the follow-up feels overwhelming. That whole follow-up and what happens next, thinking about what goes on. They're just going on to the next talk. They're not utilizing all of those people that were in front of them. And I understand because that follow-up, like I said, can feel overwhelming. But that's why I built SpeakerLinq. It removes that chaos by just giving your audience one place to access your links, offers, and resources just instantly. Keep the conversation alive without that extra effort for you. So I really invite you just to take a look at the link below in the description and grab the lifetime plan. It's there for you for a short period of time. It is disappearing, I think, before the end of the year. So make sure you take a look at it and don't let your next event be a one-off performance. Turn it into the start of something that is bigger. Don't forget. Have a look at SpeakerLinq. See you in the next video.